Trainers, what is going on? Drewby here, bringing you another VGC video. Today, we're going over what went wrong at Hartford, my friend. So, a quick little team recap, and then why I think I did just not well at all, or why some oversights I had, some mistakes I made. Just talk about the meta a little bit, I guess, and I guess get an inside view of what I was thinking, kind of thing. So, first of all, we have the Champ Dragonite going on right now. So Champ Dragonite won, so I was on the right track a little bit, but let's break it down right now. E-Speed, Outrage, Ice Spinner, Break. Now, why am I rocking the Dragonite like this? Why am I rocking Dragonite as a, with a move pool like this? E-Speed Outrage is obvious, but Ice Spinners for the mirror match and Break for some screens and things like King Gambit and whatnot. That can be low kick for a little bit more damage here and there, but overall, I just went with this moveset. Terra Normal for the big E-Speed, and obviously Inner Focus, because they switch into Arcanine or something, you just have the Inner Focus, you can't flinch, and then the Outrage just does ridiculous damage, alright? So that was pretty straightforward right then and there with the Dragonite. Chien-Pao, he's a little, like, he did that as well. Terra Ghost, 4 attacks, Focus Sash, something crazy there. Our beautiful Sandy Shocks, T-Volt, Earth Power, Terra Grass, Protect. Gyarados, Waterfall, Taunt, T-Wave, Protect, no Terra Flying, so we're Terra Dragon, because we don't have Terra Blast in this thing, so there's no point being Terra Flying. And then you are just the Moonless, enough said there, nothing crazy to be said, and then Ting-Lu, Stop Attention, Heavy Slam, Fissure, Ruination, Terra Poison. So, my first mistake with this team of what went wrong at Hartford, first and foremost, terrestrializing Ting-Lu, or should I say, Ting-Lu being an answer for Flood Main. I thought it was enough, it wasn't even close to being enough, alright, so Ting-Lu should have been, should have had more support, or the team in general should have been better off against Fluttermane. Now, I figured against Fluttermane, if they see Ting-Lu on the team sheet, they're probably not going to lead the Fluttermane, and they assume because I'm going to lead the Ting-Lu. To deal with it, I Terrasilize turn 1, I go Terra Poison, Heavy Slam, whatever, I take it out. So I thought Ting-Lu in and of itself wasn't enough to deal with Fluttermane, and unfortunately, it was not. And now going back to terrestrializing, this team almost always terrestrialized, or at least the way I was playing, which is obviously not great or probably proper, was I always terrestrialized turn 1 pretty much. Whether it was Ting-Lu going Poison, Chien-Pao going Ghost, Dragonite going Normal, there was always some kind of terrestrialization going on early on in the game, and honestly that would bite me in the butt a lot. And I also, just going Terra Poison Ting-Lu turn 1, it's not bad, but then, I don't know, man, it just takes away so much from the rest of the team. Like, this team is very Terra heavy, and what I mean by that is that every single Pokemon pretty much wants and kind of needs to terrestrialize in a way. I should say needs, but like there's just so much terrestrialization pressure on every single mon on the team. It's like a good team usually has like 1 or 2 mons with Terrasilize, the rest can just kind of dabble, or in like an emergency situation or a certain niche situation, you can Terrasilize a different mon, but this team, like every single mon, like would want to Terrasilize, And going Terrastrialization turn 1, like say I went Terra Normal on you to avoid like a Fluttermane weakness, now you're exposed to a Fluttermane weakness, you're also exposed to the Fighting weakness now, and like it was just really not good Terrasilize turn 1 on this team. Another thing I did is, like, obviously, I should say you, but, you always wanna, but I always led, like, Chien-Pao Dragonite, and honestly, with the team I have here, I don't think that's the way to always do it. I usually always led these two, because obviously they're a great combo, but I figured, again, Ting-Lu on the team sheet is enough to scare away Fluttermane from going for the lead, but a lot of the times they just went Fluttermane anyway, went for a big D-Gleam, and now these two in the front, I gotta bring in Ting-Lu, who is now also still weak to Fairy, and yes, it wasn't a lot of damage, it was still a great chunk, because every single Fluttermane I played, and the 6 games I played was Choice Specs. There was not a single Fluttermane that wasn't Specs for attacks, and Terra Fairy. And the damage, like, I would switch in, I'd take a big chunk because of Specs, and then now I Terrasilize. It's kind of a little late because it's not at full HP. I'm taking even more damage. I'm chipped away. It's like, it wasn't really that great. I really did not like it. And I think what I should have done most of the time is like having a Mungus lead who can resist the Fairy types and also get a fire back a Spore or something if needed. Like, a Mungus lead in this team seems pretty damn good. And then, like, leading these guys allows me to have a little more leeway with the terrestrialization. Like, if they lead Flutter, I'm probably going to go Terra Poison on... Oh my god, this control is, like, breaking, man. Like, why is it just not... Like, it's not working now. That was so annoying in the tournament also. I don't know what happened. But anyway. Yeah, man, it just Teresa early always felt bad, and yeah, I still won 3-3. But even the games I won, I feel like I shouldn't have won, man. It was just like I would make like I don't know, some games I definitely deserved to win, but like some also was like my opponent kind of threw a bit, and I ended up winning because of that. You know, it was definitely not a well-built team, and I got really lucky testing in Showdown, I guess. And now Showdown's not the greatest testing around. It's not the end-all, mean-all. Is that the same? It's not the end-all like testing method, but it's all I really had, and it's best of one. So obviously, I wasn't doing good. It was best of one. It's just I was making better plays, and honestly, I was able to outrage a lot more, you know. Or I just went for outrages, and I didn't even have to worry about fairy types, you know. Yeah, it was Flutter Mane, but like I've versed so many Flutter Manes, Zoom Arrows, Ferrograph even, shut down E-Speed. They were just always a threat, and I couldn't get the outrage off. I didn't manage Dragonite properly, you know. I kind of just forced these two into a lead position. This Gobi, my boy, Sandy Shocks, just could have been Flutter Mane, you know. I thought I was good against Dazzling with Flutter Mane just because I had Tinglu. No. Tinglu was unfortunately not enough for the Flutter Mane, and Tinglu D-Gleam specs just ran rampant on me, and I had no way, shape, or form of really dealing with that. Yeah, I had Chien-Pao, could speed tie it, and most of the time I always won the speed tie, or I just flat out outspec, because the specs variant is mostly bulky, and they don't really invest in speed, so right then and there, it's not even a speed tie anymore, I just outspeed them. And sometimes Ice Spinner would flat out kill the Flutter Mane if they weren't bulky, but if they were bulky, it would bring them into red, yellow, and then it was just like, okay, I can sucker punch them now. But again, there was always mind games there. It was just Flutter Mane was just all around. Obviously, Dragon can't E-Speed, it can't Outrage, it can't break into it like an Ice Spinner, but like you really want to E-Speed and Outrage on this Dragonite, you know? We have Ice Spinner here for the Mirror Match. I've watched a lot of the Mirror Match, man. The Mirror Match is a doozy. Almost every game I had, it was a mirror match with Chien-Pao Dragonite, which is like, I didn't really verse it at all in testing, you know, but I feel like you would, but I just didn't. Like I said, I got really lucky, you know, I had my whole mindset was thrown off because of how lucky I got in testing, apparently. That's why I had Ice Spinner Dragonite for the opposing Dragonite. I could just Ice Spinner him, force him to Terrasilize before I Terrasilize, trying to conserve my Terrasilization, but didn't work out that well at all. Then Break obviously again for the Chien-Pao, the King Gambits, finding we did Pokemon in general, and screens to break screens, but that never really came into play. I always pretty much clicked E-Speed or Outrage, and it was always tough. It was like, does he Terrasilize to his Terra Ghost? Does he Terrasilize to Steel or Normal type Dragonite? There's so many 50-50s, or like if I go for Sacred Sword, he goes Terra Ghost. Like obviously, there's some indicators what they want to do, but again, you truly don't know what's going to happen, and the 50-50 is always going to be a thing in the mirror match, or in the game in general, let alone a mirror match. So that was a big downside on my part there as well with the team. I felt so good going in, but when I actually played against actual 2 out of 3 opponents and whatnot, it just did not feel good at all. This Gyarados should have been Arcanine with Hal. That's another thing. I was so scared of I wanted the ground immunity for like EQs and Headlong Rush and things like that I really valued having a ground immunity with Intimidate. So that's why I had Gyarados. This could have been Arcanine with Hal, Willow, you know, and whatnot like that. And then I could have been like, I could have just been in better shape, getting some Howls off, bigger E-Speeds, my Terrasilization again. This Gyarados is basically for trick room users. Like I taunt them, I taunt the Moongus, I would taunt whatever I need, like the Orthworm here and there, actually came into play and whatnot, but this Gyarados really didn't do much of anything, honestly. He sat there, he would get a taunt off, maybe a T-Wave if I was lucky. I don't think I got a T-Wave off at all this tournament, and then like he just didn't do much at all, man. Like this is such a weird Pokemon. Like, I'm so like anti-Amoonguss, but I have no way to kill the Amoonguss' team. I thought this Gyarados would be good against just bulky or just attacking ground type Pokemon in general, and that was a big oversight as well. And then this is Arcanine with Will-O-Wisp. I really don't need the Amoonguss having Clear Smog here. Clear Smog is here simply for the Dozo matchup. If I have Willow, I can pretty much shut down the Dozo right there, honestly, make it like easier to manage with, and like I use that as my win con against Dozo instead of like, and it's like the Intimidate with Arcanine instead of going with like Clear Smog and Terra Steel. It's just, well, there goes that. I can Spore at least, but I don't know. This could have been a Protect, could have been the 4th Protect mod on my team, or I could just jump up Moongus for a bigger attacker, you know? Like I said, this could have just been Flutter Mane myself. I don't know, like, not bringing Flutter Mane is so dumb. Flutter Mane is the best mod in the former for a reason. D-Gleam, Spread Damage. Spread Damage is also so important. I didn't have any of that. You look at all the good teams, they had Heat Wave, they had D-Gleam, they had EQ, they had Snarl, they had Blizzard, they had whatever it may be. So, that was a big oversight as well. And again, like I said, in testing, this thing was great. It was killing Arcanines. I was killing Gyarados. I expected to see Gyarados everywhere. I didn't see a single Gyarados. That's why I had this. I just kill Arcanines, Gyarados, even outspeed and kill Bundle to one shot. Even if I'm being reduced by my own Ting-Lu, Bundle would still die to a T-Bolt. Like, it worked out so well in practice, but in the actual tournament, it just did nothing really. It did nothing. It was basically made Chien-Pao Dragonite versus. That's basically what it was. It was always Chien-Pao Dragonite versus my opponent's 4 Pokemon. That's all it always was. And like I would have Ting-Lu come in and like do whatever he had to do, but it was just so many oversights I had, and which really made the tournament rough for me for sure. And I definitely learned a lot again. Like, I was talking to other players and getting their input and like their feedback about the meta and whatnot. And just so many things overlooked. So, basically, the point of this video is to show you my thought process, what was going on in my brain, why this team was bad. It's not, I should say bad, but not as good as it could have been, and not optimal is the best way to put it. This team could have been a lot better, and I had nowhere near what my London performance was, unfortunately. But yeah, in the future, I think Gargantuar is going to be in the rise because spread damage is so massive. Just being able to Y-Guard right now feels really good. And Gargantuar being like the type he is, being a good terror target, and like just being able to recover and like Assault Cure everything, it's really good. It can stall Flood Main out and whatnot. It just stops D-Gleams and whatnot. Like, you see Y-Guard, you're scared to click D-Gleam on Flood Main, or like Heat Wave on Chien-Pao or Chi-Yu and things like that, you know? But overall, I still had a great time. It was great meeting everybody, talking, vibing. I had a phenomenal time regardless, but I definitely could have done a lot better, and the point of this video is to show you why, where and how it went wrong, and basically explaining, I guess, the tournament POV kind of thing, you know? So that's that, my friends. Thanks for watching, as always. Stay beautiful, stay healthy, stay sexy. We'll see you next time. We'll see you live on Twitch with some VGC battles, and have a great night, guys. I'll see you then. Fancy outro, yeah. Was that good?